Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on. So, um, this was film which I wasn't really looking forward to it, but I thought it looked okay from the trailers. Like, you know, the Despicable Me franchise, it was a franchise that I have, growing up with. Like, I remember being quite obsessed with the films when I was younger. To be fair, it's no wonder they have always been, very big movies. They draw in a lot of money. I did, rewatch, the first three movies, well, in the main series anyway. Like I'll admit, I actually do really enjoy the original movie. The sequels I don't really enjoy as much, but while they do have issues, I think they do have a fair amount of, entertainment value to them. I didn't rewatch either of the Minions spin-offs, but I've seen the first Minions quite an amount of times. Wasn't really a huge fan. I was when I was younger, but looking back, I don't know if it'll be that good. And of course, you may remember I actually reviewed Minions 2 when it came out there 2 years ago now. Still can't believe it was that long ago when the whole gentle Minions craze was going on. I thought it was okay when I watched it initially. Those two may be worth rewatches as well, but I didn't get time to do them. But anyways, so now we're back with this franchise again, and now of course we have the fourth installment. This one was released the past weekend there in Ireland, and I went to see it there the past weekend as of recording this review. And having seen Despicable Me 4 for myself now, what do I think of it? I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't quite call this a bad movie, but I was not a fan of this new installment. I'm gonna be honest, this was not great. Like, for me, this was probably be the weakest in the series, or definitely one of the weakest anyways. Again, not quite a bad movie, but it wasn't great. So getting further into my thoughts on the film, I'll start off by saying this. The animation in the movie is honestly very good. Now, to be fair, for Illumination standards, that is kind of to be expected. But nonetheless, I do think the animation in the movie is very good. To be fair, this is probably one of Illumination's best movies animation wise. It's very colorful, very nice to look at, and there's obviously a lot of slapstick humor in the movie, and I think it is very fast paced, but to be fair, that is kind of what you'd expect from Illumination, but yeah, nonetheless, it is a bright movie and it is quite visually pleasing to look at. So yeah, I would say that the animation in this movie is honestly quite good. Now in terms of the film's pacing, I don't think the pacing in this film was all that great, to be honest. Now for the film's runtime, it's not, very long. It's 94 minutes in length. It is pretty much, like, kind of around the same runtime as some of the previous films. They're all usually, like, around 90 minutes in length. Yeah, so it is kind of being, consistent with the runtime of all the other movies. And like, honestly, like, it doesn't feel like a very long movie. I do think it does go at quite a fast pace, but with that being said though, I have to be honest, I think this is definitely one of the weaker movies in the series when it comes to the pacing, because like, I'll talk more about this later, but there's a few like subplots in this movie and a lot of them aren't really like given the proper focus. Like there'll be certain like relations between characters that kind of just feel like a bit too sudden, and it felt like there wasn't really like any proper like build up or kind of real connection between those characters during the runtime to where it, felt satisfying or felt earned. And subplots in this movie, like the movie just kind of rushes through them, and when they come back into the climax, they don't like feel like, properly set up and stuff. They were just there and now they're back, and not to mention a few of them like don't even have like a proper like resolution. So yeah, honestly, like the whole thing just feels like a bit too rushed and not properly thought through or like properly built up. Now, to be fair, there is kind of a reason as to why that is, but I'm gonna talk more about that in a bit. But yeah, for now, I'll just say that the pacing in this movie was not very good. In terms of the sound music in the movie, now, I'll admit, like, the music in this movie was okay. Like, I mean, to be fair, I think the score in this movie is alright. Like, I mean, now, it is pretty much, the same score as all the other movies, but, it's honestly an okay score nonetheless. Kind of fits with highly zany action going on, and like there's quite a few like notable like songs in this. Like, there's definitely a fair amount of needle drops in this movie, and like, I mean, they were all right, to be honest. There was a few of them I wasn't expecting. Like, there was one needle drop in particular which, I'm not gonna lie, actually took me back a bit because I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, like, even if it is like just kind of a bunch of, like, licensed music, still some good songs in there, and I'd say that they fit the scenes well, but a lot of those scenes aren't great exactly, but overall, in terms of the music, I would say it's okay. Um, Now, in terms of the characters and the voice acting, so starting things off with Gru, and like, Gru is pretty much just kind of his same self in this movie. Now, obviously, he kind of does go through like a bit of kind of a new like thing in his life where, like, basically he's being forced to go undercover along with his family, and they have to kind of change their identities and stuff. But I'll be honest, I just wasn't really like a huge fan of it, like, with how it kind of plays out, because the movie just didn't really use it to its full potential. And like the film kind of had potential to kind of do things with Gru's character, because in this one, him and Lucy now have a baby son, and his son doesn't like Gru very much. Yeah, like, I don't know, I just feel like the way it was executed just wasn't very good. I didn't really feel like the film properly built upon Gru's character. It just didn't really feel all that satisfying. So, like, yeah, Gru is pretty much doing the same stuff. He's okay, but the movie didn't really do anything to properly, like, push him forward. With some of the returning characters, like his family, his wife, and his three daughters, the way the movie handles their characters, I just don't think is very good. Again, with Gru, like, the movie doesn't do anything to really further their characters or add more to them. Like, they're just kind of doing stuff in this movie, kind of partaking in some kind of zany antics, and it doesn't do anything to further the story or their characters. It just kind of feels like wasted potential. Same with the Minions as well. Like, the movie pretty much does dedicate some runtime to the Minions. I mean, it wouldn't be a Despicable Me movie if it didn't do that. And yeah, once again, the Minions, they pretty much are their usual selves, causing a bunch of mayhem on the screen for the young kids to all jeer at, and along with all of the Minions fans. And yeah, like, we have a subplot where some of the Minions become superheroes, and while it might seem like an entertaining plot to some, there's an amount of screen time dedicated to it, but again, it's just not really used to its full potential. But yeah, so honestly, the Minions, they're pretty much just their usual selves once again. Characters, the movie just didn't really do anything all that interesting to further them. In terms of the new characters, we of course have a new villain in this movie, Maxime Lemal, and of course along with him you've got his girlfriend Valentina. They're basically the new villains in this one. Like, to be fair, Maxime, he's entertaining enough when he's actually on screen, but he just doesn't really do a lot for most of his screen time until the third act. Like, he shows up in the film, but it's kind of him just on his journey trying to find Gru, and he's kind of just messing about and stuff. The movie just could have done more interesting things with his character, and Valentina then, she's kind of just there, to be honest. She doesn't have anything interesting to do, just to bicker about with her boyfriend. She's kind of just there. And the other new character in this film is Poppy, who is basically this new neighbor of the Gru family, and basically she goes on this heist with Gru to steal a honey badger. And like, yeah, I mean, like, she could have been an interesting enough character, but I don't know, she just wasn't great. Like, her whole chemistry with Gru, I just thought could have been done way better. And yeah, like, the whole, like, subplot with her character, it just kind of feels like a bit phoned in just to have something going on. And like, she could have been an interesting character, but I think the movie could have done something better with her character. So yeah, while the characters may not have been that bad, the movie just really could have done like a lot more interesting things with most of them, I feel. Like, the voice acting, I'll admit, is okay. Like, to be fair, like, all the returning cast members, they pretty much still do like the same voices that they've always been doing with these characters. But you know, it's pretty much alright enough. Like, I mean, Steve Carell is still doing his voice as Gru. Pierre Coffin is still hamming it up as the voice of the Minions. Will Ferrell does have a bit of fun here, and with him joining the cast as the voice of Maxime, like, he has kind of fun with the whole kind of French accent that he does, but like, even then, the movie just could have done more interesting with his character. Sofia Vergara is here as well as the voice of Valentina, and honestly, she's pretty much just wasted here. Like, the movie doesn't give her character anything interesting to do, just to be with Maxime. The movie could have made way better use of her. Joey King is in this as well as the voice of Poppy. Like, with her character, she does like kind of a lisp, and like, not that there's a problem with her doing a lisp, but to be honest, it could get a bit annoying. I have a feeling like maybe some people could find that a bit irritating. But anyways, in total, the characters were kind of just wasted in this. The voice acting was okay for the most part, but the movie really could have done way more interesting things with the characters. In terms of the plot of this movie now, the plot with this film is that, like, you know, we have a new villain from Gru's past, and you know, Gru and his family are being forced to go into hiding and have to change their identities. It's not a bad plot, I'll admit. It's definitely something you could do something quite interesting with it, but I just don't think the movie really does like anything that, interesting with it. Like, not to mention with the amount of subplots that we have, like the plot with Gru going on this heist with Poppy to steal the honey badger, and the subplot with the minions becoming superheroes, and yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. And honestly, it really feels like there's kind of a lack of direction, and with the pacing as well, just feels a bit rushed, to be honest, and it doesn't feel like it's been properly thought through. Yeah, honestly, I just kind of really think the movie could have done way better with the plot and maybe removed some things and kept certain other things. Like, in terms of the film's humor, like, it's not that bad. Some of it is a bit cringy, I'll admit, but I can see some of it being funny to kids. Like, there is some pretty funny humor in the movie, and I'd say it'll definitely be one for kids to enjoy. But yeah, if you're like not a fan of this franchise, or if you find this too kiddish for you, then yeah, you will not be entertained by this film. Like, there is some entertaining enough humor. There's some well done slapstick, but like, just the plot is honestly a bit of a conjumbled mess, with a real lack of direction. Overall, it was a bit of wasted potential. It had some good ideas, but they definitely could have been executed a whole lot better. And in terms of the film's narrative structure, this is definitely my biggest issue with this movie. I'm sorry, there's just way too much going on. Like, you have kind of the main plot with Gru and his family going into hiding because of Maxime. But then you have other stuff going on, like with Gru going on the heist with Poppy to steal the honey badger, and the minions becoming superheroes. There's a bit of stuff going on with Lucy and the girls, and with like Maxime going after Gru. There is just way too much stuff going on in this movie, and honestly, as I said earlier, some of it just should have been removed. Like, maybe if they had so many of these ideas, instead of putting them all into one movie, they could have just done like separate things with them, like made a separate movie or TV show. Yeah, I just really think they just tried to put it all into this one movie, and it didn't really work. And like, I think a big reason for this, like, I've seen some interviews there where they're stating that, like, in terms of the future of this franchise, they're thinking about going for kind of a sitcom route with it, where like the characters are going to be kind of getting into all of these situations and stuff, like kind of like what you'd see in a sitcom or something. And this is also like a huge part of why they're just not, aging up the three girls. And yeah, if you ask me, I think that is a really bad idea, because I just don't think it will work for a film franchise if they go down that route. Like, hopefully they don't, but yeah, it's just not a good idea. Yeah, honestly, the narrative structure here was just not very good. Way too much stuff going on, and it really felt like a conjumbled mess. It wasn't like that bad. There was a bit of funny things going on, but again, as I said, just a really conjumbled plot. So, overall, Despicable Me 4 may not be exactly a bad film, but it is definitely one of the weaker movies in the franchise, and yeah, it's starting to become clear at this point. This franchise is starting to become drawn out. Like, as I said, it's not a total mess of a film. Like, there is some very good animation. There's some okay music. There's okay voice acting. And there is some decent humor and slapstick, but like, just the problem is that there's way too much going on in the movie. The narrative is just a conjumbled mess, and like, certain subplots are just not paced very well. As I said, some of these ideas should have been, like their own separate movies or shows. Yeah, it's not a bad movie. I can definitely see like kids and fans of this franchise, enjoying this new installment, but as I've said, this movie is proof that this franchise is starting to become drawn out a bit, and like, since they are most certainly going to make more of these, I think they are definitely gonna have to kind of step up their game a bit, because yeah, this latest installment, like, they need to do a bit better than this, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, I don't know if I call it a bad movie, but overall, it's definitely just an average movie at best, and if this franchise continues, which it most certainly will, I think it definitely needs to do better for the next installment. So with that, I'm going to give Despicable Me 4 a 5 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.